After 3 days of watching from the sidelines, the most anticipated car of the 2026 preseason has finally broken cover. On the fourth morning of the Barcelona test, Aston Martin rolled out the AMR26, the very first machine penned by the legendary designer Adrian Newey since his move from Red Bull. The entire paddock paused to watch, and what they saw was a car that is not only a radical departure from anything else on the grid, but is pure, undiluted Newey. The AMR26 features some incredibly aggressive design concepts, particularly a super aggressive side pod and floor philosophy that have immediately become the main topic of technical discussion. This isn't just a new car, it's a statement of intent and a fascinating glimpse into the mind of the sport's greatest ever designer. But before we connect this choice to the specific aerodynamic trade-offs Aston Martin has made, if you're serious about understanding the engineering war that defines modern F1, hit that subscribe button to get the expert-level detail that separates the casual fan from the true insider. Let's dive into the technical details because the genius of this car is in its complex and daring aerodynamic solutions. The most striking feature of the AMR26 is its side pod design. While other teams have pursued various concepts, from Red Bull's extreme zero pod to Mercedes' more conservative approach, Newey has introduced something entirely different. The AMR26 features what is being described as a downwashing ramp side pod of extreme severity. The bodywork starts high and then aggressively slopes downwards towards the floor at the rear of the car. This is a concept Newey has refined over many years, but the 2026 version is the most extreme iteration yet. The aerodynamic purpose of this design is twofold. Firstly, the steep downward ramp is designed to aggressively direct airflow down towards the top of the diffuser and into the Coke bottle region, the narrow area at the back of the car. This high-energy airflow helps to pull air through the diffuser from underneath the car, effectively increasing the diffuser's expansion ratio and generating a huge amount of downforce. It's a way of using the top surface of the car to supercharge the performance of the underfloor. This isn't a new idea in a vacuum. It's the culmination of a design philosophy Newey has been perfecting for nearly 2 decades. We saw early versions of this concept on his championship-winning Red Bulls, particularly from 2010 onwards. However, the 2026 regulations, with their specific side impact structures and floor geometry rules, have allowed him to take this to a new level. The key difference is the severity of the slope. On previous cars, the downwash was a noticeable feature. On the AMR26, it's the car's defining characteristic. This extreme angle suggests Newey and his team have found a novel way to manage the internal packaging of the radiators. Instead of being mounted vertically, it's highly probable that the main cooling elements are angled almost horizontally within the side pod, allowing the external bodywork to follow such a steep path. This is an enormous packaging challenge. It requires custom-designed radiators, intricate ducting to channel air through them effectively, and a way to exhaust the hot air without disrupting the very airflow the side pod is trying to manage. It's a high-risk, high-reward design. If they can manage the cooling efficiently, the aerodynamic benefit will be immense. If they can't, the car will be forced to run with larger cooling loops open, which would bleed aerodynamic performance and negate the entire concept. It's a design that lives on a knife's edge, a hallmark of Newey's relentless pursuit of performance. Secondly, this design creates a massive undercut beneath the side pod inlet. This undercut is a crucial channel for air to flow along the side of the car towards the rear. By making this channel as large and clean as possible, Newey is ensuring that the maximum amount of clean, high-energy air reaches the back of the car, further enhancing the efficiency of the rear wing and diffuser. This aggressive side pod philosophy is enabled by another classic Newey trait: incredibly tight packaging of the internal components. To create such extreme bodywork contours, the radiators, coolers, and electronics housed within the side pods must be arranged in a very specific and compact way. This is where Newey's holistic design approach shines. He doesn't just design the external surfaces, he works intimately with the power unit supplier, in this case Honda, to optimize the placement of every single component to serve the aerodynamic concept. This is a stark contrast to customer teams who simply receive an engine and have to design around it. As a full works partner, Aston Martin and Honda have clearly collaborated to allow Newey the freedom to shrink-wrap the bodywork to a degree that other teams may not be able to achieve. However, the innovation doesn't stop there. Paddock observers have noted another extreme detail in the car's floor design. The AMR26 features a very distinct and sharply angled kick-up on the edge of the floor, just in front of the rear tires. This is a feature that has been dubbed the Newey kick. Its function is to create a powerful vortex along the edge of the floor. This vortex acts like an air curtain, effectively sealing the edges of the underfloor from the turbulent air being thrown off by the rotating front and rear wheels. By sealing the floor, it prevents this dirty air from leaking underneath the car and disrupting the airflow that is generating the majority of the downforce. A more effective seal means the car can run a more aggressive setup and maintain consistent downforce through a wider range of cornering speeds and ride heights. The Newey kick is more than just a simple flick-up. It's a sophisticated piece of aerodynamic engineering designed to generate and control a specific type of vortex. In fluid dynamics, a vortex is a region of rotating fluid. By creating this sharp, upward-facing edge, Newey is causing the high-pressure air from the top of the floor to spill over to the low-pressure area on the side, rolling up into a powerful, stable vortex. This vortex then travels down the length of the floor edge. Why is this so important? The biggest enemy of an F1 car's underfloor is the turbulent wake generated by the massive front tires. This tire squirt, as it's known, is a jet of chaotic air that wants to push laterally inwards under the car and destroy the carefully managed low-pressure area that is creating downforce. The vortex created by the Newey kick acts as a pneumatic barrier. Its rotational energy is strong enough to resist the tire squirt, keeping it away from the sensitive underfloor. This is a far more aggressive solution than the simple raised floor edges we see on some other cars. It suggests Newey isn't just trying to guide the airflow. He's trying to create a powerful, self-sustaining aerodynamic structure to act as a shield. This is a concept that requires immense precision in its design, as a poorly formed or unstable vortex could detach and cause a sudden, catastrophic loss of downforce. It's another example of Newey's confidence in his team's simulation tools to design something so complex and have it work straight out of the box. This extreme focus on aerodynamic sealing and flow management is a direct response to the 2026 regulations. With the removal of the MGU-H and the increased reliance on electrical power, cars will be spending more time at different speeds on the straights due to energy harvesting and deployment. A car with a robust and stable aerodynamic platform that is less sensitive to changes in speed and ride height will be a huge advantage. Newey has clearly identified this as a key battleground and has designed a car with a foundational philosophy aimed at creating the most stable and efficient underfloor possible. The debut of the AMR26 was not without its issues, however. The team had a delayed start on Thursday morning, with Fernando Alonso only managing a handful of installation laps before the lunch break. This is not entirely unexpected. A car with such a complex and tightly packaged design is bound to have initial teething problems. The team will be working overtime to ensure all systems are functioning correctly, checking for any signs of overheating due to the aggressive cooling layout, and ensuring the complex hydraulic and electronic systems are robust. For Fernando Alonso, this car represents what could be his last, best chance to fight for a third world championship. His feedback will be absolutely critical. As a driver known for his incredible sensitivity and detailed technical feedback, he is the perfect partner for a designer like Newey. Alonso will be able to feel the subtle effects of the airflow structures Newey has created and provide the data needed to unlock the car's full potential. The partnership between a driver who can feel everything and a designer who thinks of everything is a tantalizing prospect for Aston Martin fans. When you compare the AMR26 to the other cars on the grid, the differences in philosophy are stark. The Red Bull RB22, for example, has focused on minimizing the side pods almost to non-existence, channeling its cooling centrally. Newey's Aston Martin, by contrast, fully embraces the side pod, using its entire surface as a powerful aerodynamic device to direct air. It's a fascinating divergence in thinking from the man who pioneered Red Bull's previous design concepts. It suggests that Newey believes that for the 2026 rules, actively managing and directing airflow with the bodywork is a more powerful tool than simply trying to get the bodywork out of the way. The coming days of the test will be crucial. Aston Martin is now a full day behind its rivals in terms of mileage and data collection. Their first priority will be reliability. They need to prove that their tightly packaged design can handle the thermal stresses of a full race simulation. If the car can run reliably, their focus will then shift to correlation, ensuring the incredible performance predicted by their wind tunnel and CFD simulations translates to the real world. If the numbers match up, the rest of the paddock has every reason to be very concerned. Adrian Newey has built his reputation on designing cars that are not only fast, but that also redefine what is possible within a set of regulations. The AMR26, with its extreme and innovative concepts, appears to be cast from that very same mold.